Can you smell what we are cooking? Don't worry, soon enough you will be able to smell it. Let's start the show. Hello and good evening. Welcome to another episode of The Lipstick Effect, the show where we talk about business, beauty, and of course, branding. I am your host, Jamila Bannister, and I was running to meet you, so I'm breathing a little bit. So forgive me. And I'm really excited about tonight's episode. We have so many things in store, and I'm already getting text messages and WhatsApp messages saying that I have a superstar on tonight's episode. So I'm excited to bring my guest out. She is hanging out in my green room because we have the best green room there is in all of live streaming history. She's probably having caviar back there, champagne back there, and having a great, great time. So, in tonight's episode, I'm going to start off by just talking a little bit about some new developments that have been happening with me on this side before we jump into tonight's interview. So, you remember last year there were there was one event called, I think, Bridging the Digital Divide. It was put on by the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and there were quite a few sponsors. Unfortunately for me, I won myself a ticket to attend. It was really cool. I enjoyed myself. Now, while I was there was a competition. And guess what? I won an Amazon gift card to the value of $50 from the IDB. So I want to say a big shout out to the IDB for that win. And I took that gift card and I bought 4 books. So I try to expand my mind. I try to get the most out of that $50. So on my book list right now, I just want to share what I'm reading. I just finished Story Brand. Excellent read. I'm in the middle of Win Without Pitching. You guys could see. This is also a really excellent book, a great book on brand positioning, a great book on negotiation, a great book on really being able to put yourself out there as a thought leader, a great book on building your brand. Everybody who has something to sell, especially if it's a high ticket something, needs to read this book. Great. And also, every marketer needs to read Story Brand. Every single marketer, you need to read this book. This is like a reference text, kind of like how we had a reference text in school. This is for sure. Currently, I'm reading this one, Alter Ego, which is another book about branding and about adopting identities to be able to differentiate ourselves. And my pleasure read is In Order to Live. I saw this young lady on a show, I believe. She's a North Korean defector who managed to escape life in North Korea, made it to, I think, South Korea, and now she's in the United States, a scholar going to Columbia University. This is my read at night when I have to chill. All right. So I got some books and I'm glad about that win. So I want to say hi and good evening to Tisha. Hi, Tisha. I know you are here and you're excited about tonight's episode. And yes, great investment. I mean, I don't think I could have spent that $50 better than that because it was great, great books to really add and improve things, not only for me, but for the people who I work with and help. All right. And also, I want to tell you guys that I have updated my website and I am very excited about that. So I want to show you what it is. So as you know, I've been making the transition to focusing more on brands like the amazing one we will focus on tonight and beauty brands. So of course my website had to reflect that. So now you have an opportunity if you would like help to turn your boring beauty business into an engaging beauty brand. This is your opportunity. You could book a discovery call on my website, or you could even take a quiz to see where you are at, to see if you need help. So you will be able to find how you can work with me, what our process is like, and you will get an opportunity to see all those things on the website. And it's really easy for you now to be able to book a call or to take a quiz to see where you're at, right? So if you find you're a little boring, you're not particularly inspiring to get people to stop the scroll, to listen, to pay attention, and you think you need a little help in finding your voice, owning your voice, and being able to apply that brand messaging throughout your ecosystem, from your website to your social media, to your content, and to your taglines and your profiles, you definitely want to book a call with me. So I'll tell you more about that again at the end of the show. And I also want to tell you that tonight is the first time ever we will be having a giveaway courtesy of a special guest, the gifting queen, the CEO, managing director, owner of Signature Collection, Miss Natika Singh Chidi. And with that said, Natika, I'm calling you out now to put away your caviar and to take your final sip of champagne before we bring you out on stage for the show. Welcome to the Lipstick Effect. Hi, how are you, Natika? How are you?
I am great. I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. We go way, way back, way back.
Yes, we do.
And I'm really glad to be able to have you on here tonight, and I'm very excited about the first giveaway. So let me just give people a clue as to what it is, so you will know what you have to do, right? So the name of this game is called Parfum Unscrambled. So with this game, what you have to do is I'm going to put the names up of a few select fragrances on the screen. Now, of these fragrances, 8 of them retail at Signature Collection. But you have to decide, you have to choose which 8 are correct because there are about 13 or 14 on the page. So you will have to pick out which ones. So now, if you follow Natika, this should be easy. But if you don't, you're going to have to put in some research. And I'm going to give you the full hour of the show to be able to figure it out. Now, the first person who gets of all of these selections correct, if you select the correct responses, the correct fragrances, you will win a $500 TTD gift certificate to redeem at Signature Collection. I can assure you, you can get an amazing fragrance with $500. Even if you want to put some more on it, you can get something really, really nice. So I want to say thank you to Natika for that great, great prize. And I'm going to give you a quick tease before we start. Let's put the fragrances up on the screen. Here they are. Can we see? Here they are. Performance Scramble. So take note of them. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so that's your chance to see. And I will be putting them up a couple more times before the night is over. So, all right, so that takes care of housekeeping. So now, Natika, let's get into it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And look, we are seeing some people saying hi to see you. Merle is saying, very nice to see you on next. We haven't even started yet, so you know. And look, we have a fan in the house. Crazy saying, gift certificate, let's go. He is ready to play. All right, okay, good. So Natika, again, welcome
Thank you.
and good evening. So I want to kick things off with you telling people, because I know we see you waxing very poetic about fragrance on on LinkedIn and so on. But a lot of people may not necessarily know that you actually have a long history with personal care and those types of items in terms of what your family has been into. So give us a little bit of your story, a little bit of your history, and tell us how how the elements of your past and your family history, how that has impacted what you're doing now, and how you found yourself in this area that you're clearly passionate about.
Okay, well, I guess for everyone who knows my story, would know that my family, my dad and his sister, they were involved together in a business that dealt with perfumes and personal care items, as you said. They would be importing things from the United States and distributing in Trinidad and Tobago to retailers.
Mhm.
Um, I was a really good negotiator, and
Mhm.
I negotiated with my dad that I would work with him on weekends so
Mhm.
that I could ask for the allowance that I thought I should get per month.
Right.
So yes. So I negotiated with dad that I would work with him on weekends, and working with him meant that I would go to do deliveries with him with my customers. I would help him to pack boxes. Sometimes I would need to, if it was nail polish, that would come like loose, and you would have to write the numbers on the box, because in those days, Theons was the
The thing.
trending nail polish,
Yeah.
and they went by numbers, and like number 5 and number 11 were
Yeah.
the happening, nail polish numbers in those days. And
Yeah.
then I would pack the boxes, and the boxes that came with 12 or 6, so depending on what the customer asks for.
Mhm.
And honestly, Jamila, that is where I think my love for customer service started, because I saw my dad in action.
Mhm.
And that was really where everything started. And with the perfumes, when I wrote a Common Entrance in those days, that was in 1990, the same year
Mhm.
as the coup.
Right.
Um, I had negotiated again with my parents that if I passed for my first choice, I wanted a trip to Disney World.
Right.
And
Ooh.
yeah, and yes, I did secure a place at the prestigious Naparima Girls in San Fernando.
Shout out to all the Nabs girls looking on.
And yeah, hi to all my friends. And would you believe the morning that we were supposed to travel, the coup happened the Friday evening.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that delayed the trip by a few days. But
Yeah.
we eventually left, and I remember my aunt having to, because she lived between Trinidad and Miami. She had a house in Miami, and she was back and forth with the business. And I remember we had to go to Miami first, and then, well, obviously the flight, there was no direct flight to Orlando. You went to Miami, and then you either took a connecting flight or you drove to Orlando. We drove all the time.
Mhm.
um, so she had to stop off at Macy's in International Mall to get something for a customer, and she
Mhm.
wanted to ensure that she booked it, and when we were going to be returning home, she would have the item to bring back for the customer. And sometimes you
Mhm.
had to order certain things, especially if it was not an item that was necessarily in their showcases. Sometimes you
Mhm.
needed to order specialty items from them.
Right.
And walking into Macy's, there are these girls who are standing on either side of the doorway. And as you enter, they're stopping you and they're asking you, would you like to try the new fragrance from Bichon? It's called DNA, and it stands for the names of his children, Daniel, Nicholas, and Alexandra. And if you said yes, you put your hand out, they would spritz you, and then they gave you a carded sample. Jamila, to this day, I remember word for word what they said, the way they said it, and the impact it had on me. Because throughout that day, I just kept smelling my hand, and it was fantastic. Fantastic. And
Yeah.
I remember a few years later, maybe when I was maybe in Form 3, that's when you choose subjects to dictate what you do, whether
Yeah.
you do sciences, languages, that kind of thing. And my mom would have been talking to me, because she would have been helping me to fill out that form, and she was asking me what would I like to do, because that would determine what subject areas we chose. And I said, Mom,
Mhm.
honestly, I want to work in Macy's, and I want to spritz people with fragrance. That's what I want to do. And I think my poor mother almost got a heart attack.
Yes, I'm
So,
sure. I am sure.
yeah, she's like, what? But, I did the conventional things for a while. So I
Yeah.
went to university. I got a degree. I got a couple jobs. I worked in different places.
Yeah.
And everywhere I worked,
Mm-hmm.
I always found that I loved dealing with people. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love dealing with people. I can
Mm-hmm.
do that all day and not be tired. Not so my best job probably was being a teller in the bank. That was my
Right.
first job, my first real job.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even though you have to stand on your feet, although we had chairs, I mean, it never made sense. You stand on your feet to serve your customer and things like that. I think I
Mm-hmm.
had some of the best clients at Scotiabank, High Street, San Fernando. And I worked with really, really awesome people there. And I just loved dealing with people. And I always say when people ask me what business I'm in, I always tell them I'm in the people business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which you very much are. And as we mentioned, people, I just want to take a look at the audience. And Brenda Warner is saying you look amazing, right? Hi, Brenda. Thank you so much. And Vanessa Danwaj is saying you look so stunning. Oh, you have so many fans.
And, yeah.
and and a message from your little Rajika, Mom, you look amazing. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that's really cute.
That's my heartbeat. That's
Yes,
on the
yes,
side of my body. Yes.
yes, yes. So we have quite a few people coming in. So Andres, hi Andres. I think I remember Andres. And Andres is saying nice. So I think you have quite an inspirational story. And the funny thing is, right? We say exactly what we want to do very early in life, but I don't think people take us like what they don't take us seriously. You want to
Yeah.
be you want to spread people at Macy's, but I mean you've always told me that you really wanted to recreate the Macy's experience
Yes.
in your store. That has always been one of the things that you have talked about very passionately and said that you wanted
Yeah.
to recreate, right? So
Yeah.
I will definitely want to talk about that. But before we get into that piece, I want to take a little bit of time and talk about um take it back a little bit in a different direction. So I remember when we first really started to get to know each other. I remember social media was the last thing you wanted anything
Yes.
to do with. You were like, social media, no, I am not doing that. I don't want to put my picture out there. I don't want to put my face out there. And that was 2022. And look at your beautiful face on this show, right? So, of course, I have to ask you, um, what was your moment of shift in terms of getting social, and when was it and what was it?
Okay. So out of the blue,
Mm-hmm,
uh, a mutual friend of the family, Shalini Bihari, called me one day,
mm-hmm,
and she's like, "Next, let's go for coffee. Let's go Starbucks and let's have coffee, but walk with your laptop."
mm-hmm.
And I said, "Okay, sure. I'll meet you at Starbucks." And Starbucks had just opened in Cooper.
Right.
So I met Shalini, and she started to show me her LinkedIn profile
Mm-hmm,
and all the amazing things that she was doing on LinkedIn. I
mm-hmm,
had about 250 people at that point in time, and this is like 20, I would say sometime in 2019.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my son was still going to lessons, and I think I had just dropped him to lessons and was waiting to pick him back up. So I had some time, and that's
Right.
how I met with Shalini. And yes, we just started to work on the profile a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yes.
and I didn't even have a profile picture of myself on my phone that I could have given to her, that
Yes.
she could have put up on my profile. So for a very long time, I had no profile picture on LinkedIn, none.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, and then I just started connecting with people and just trying this thing out. And I think the last time I checked my LinkedIn profile, I have about 20,700 connections.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go from 250 in
Yes.
2019 to over 20,000 in 2022. What
Yes.
a massive, massive, massive jump.
Yes.
So clearly that has been a journey in terms of you doing that. So
Uh-huh.
so when it was 2019 and it
And,
was your
I
friend
mean, I'm thinking 2019 here, but it could also no, it yeah, 2019. It was 2019, yeah. Because
2019-ish, around that
yeah,
time.
because pandemic happened in 2020, so it was
Yes.
2019. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And well, thanks to your friend. Is it Shalini? You said her name is?
Yes, Shalini, yes.
Well, thanks to Shalini. You did the Lord's work there. Thank you very much.
Yes,
You know,
she did.
you did the Lord's work there. So okay. So you mentioned LinkedIn. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn right now. LinkedIn has, I mean, from what I can see, LinkedIn has changed your life,
It
right?
has.
It has changed your life. And over the last 6 to 8 months in particular, I have seen, and I know we've talked about this, we talked about the training you underwent, and I've seen a marked difference in your online presence. And I think, I mean, I even wake up to your WhatsApp messages, early in the morning when I wake up at 6, I guarantee to get a message from you with your LinkedIn post for the day.
Yes.
So I want to talk about what the impact of LinkedIn has been on your brand awareness, your reach, your lead generation, and your sales. So let's take it one at a time. So
Mhm.
talk about your brand awareness and reach, the impact
Okay.
of LinkedIn.
So, um, I would have worked with Jared Best Mitchell as well in
Mm-hmm,
2019.
mm-hmm,
I would have seen Jared and Adrian Havelock
mm-hmm,
appearing on different forums on LinkedIn. And I
mm-hmm,
knew Adrian. Well,
mm-hmm,
actually, I knew Adrian's sister and I
mm-hmm,
knew of him. And then we
mm-hmm.
connected and we realized we knew a lot of people in common. When you're from South, that happens, right? You
Yeah,
have to relate to everybody,
yeah,
or you
yeah,
know somebody because of, via marriage or whatever.
yes,
So Adrian and I connected, and then I told him I'd been seeing some amazing work from Jared Best Mitchell, and I
mm-hmm,
was following him. I looked forward to reading all of his posts, and I thought, man, if you just take this man's advice without even hiring him, it's so on point. He's so clear. He's so articulate in what he's saying, and it's very easy things he's telling you that you can do.
mm-hmm,
And I thought, wow, and he's giving information for free as well, like whoever does that. So I reached out to Jared, and I think it was just after his as sales as a profession conference.
yes,
And I booked him and I asked him if he could do a double session for me, one for myself, one for my husband, because
right,
I needed my spouse to be on board with
mm-hmm,
what I was doing. And he being, an engineer by profession, I'm not too sure he's understanding marketing and everything that's happening in the marketing world.
right.
And Jared agreed, and then Jared didn't have a problem coming to Coover because he's originally from Coover.
Ah, right,
So,
okay.
so the drive for Jared was really easy. He could have probably closed his eyes and done it, because he's so familiar with the area.
Mm-hmm,
And Jamila, that was just an awesome session. Jared spent like about 6 hours with us,
mm-hmm,
and he just shared tons of information with us, tons and tons and tons. And
mm-hmm,
one of the things that Jared said to me that day was,
mm-hmm,
Natika, you need to stand out in what you do.
mm-hmm,
And the only way you can do that is by posting content.
mm-hmm,
And he's like, listen, even if somebody criticizes you
mm-hmm,
because, you made an error or you put a wrong sentence or you used something grammatically incorrect, that's okay. Because
mm-hmm.
you know what? That means to say for them to pick up on that error, they are reading your content. And
Yes,
that
they
is
are.
what you want. You want
Yes,
people to read content and you want people to, be able to identify with what you're saying.
yes,
And I just decided I was gonna do that. I was gonna write and I'll see how it goes. Um
yes,
and that's what I started to do. And my husband also had a chat with me that everybody has stress in their life.
mm-hmm,
Nobody needs you to add stress and tell them about your stress. Nobody's interested in that. Everybody wants a happy story.
yes,
And of course, anybody who knows me know I'm a big fan of Hallmark Christmas movies, right?
yes,
I can
yeah,
watch Christmas movies in the middle of Easter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a reason for that. The Christmas movies, yeah, it's a little bit cheesy and the storyline is the same most times, but there's a lot of retail that happens in those movies, and I get ideas from them. I
Yeah.
see how people interact with people. I get little ideas from looking at those movies. And
Mm-hmm.
Christmas is just such a beautiful time of the year for me, and I love Christmas. I know it's my birthday month and everything, so it's just something I love. And when I think about it, what my husband was saying, why do I look at those movies? It's just to de-stress sometimes. And
Yeah.
he said, you need to just give people information. You can tell them what they're doing incorrectly, but just note it's how you say it and not
Yeah.
what you say.
Yes.
Give people a reason to want to read you. Give people a reason to look forward to it because they get some content, they get some information, but they might get a laugh here or there. You
Yes.
might say something like what I used to do incorrectly, and I started just sharing personal stories and
Yeah.
personal experiences.
Yeah.
And even if there is a negative situation, I try to turn it and, look at the glass being half full
Full.
instead of
Yeah.
half empty.
Yeah.
And I think, Jamila, that has worked for me because it is amazing how coming to the end of last year, lots of people started to private message me, WhatsApp me, and just tell me, and people I don't even know.
Yeah.
um, I love reading your stories. I look forward to reading your stories every single day.
Mm.
Um, I got a message, I think it was yesterday morning. I got up to use the bathroom or something, and I checked my phone to see the time. And I got a message from somebody in China telling me I was a rock star.
Really? Wow. That's so fantastic.
Under one of my posts. He said that he enjoyed reading my content, and I'm a rock star.
Look at you, international woman of fragrance. Ah, that's what you are now. So, okay, so let's just take a moment to acknowledge some of the people in the comments. So, oh, Mama Raj is saying a beautiful woman inside and out. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And Deidre is saying, good night, ladies. Good night, Deidre. Nice to have you on. Thanks for bringing your good vibes. And Miss Merle is saying she's very proud of you and your accomplishments, Natika. Lots of fans tonight. So, okay, thanks to all the people in the comments. Thanks for the lipstick effect community for coming out. Could you drop some lipstick emojis in the comments so we know that you're here and you're tuned in and you are looking on, and let us know what you think about. Are you inspired? Um, um, do you feel like you want to add value? Or do you read Natika's post? Let us know in the comments as well, so that we can give you a shout out. And also, don't forget we are playing trivia tonight. Let's take a moment and put up the trivia question. So, not questions, fragrances. So, in order for you to win the $500 gift certificate, you must identify which of these fragrances are sold at Signature Collection. Now, on the screen, let's put it up, let's put it up, let's put it up. There are 13 fragrances on the screen. So we are leaving it up there for another 10, 9, and you need to pick out which eight are sold and which eight are sold, because there are some false friends in there. There are some, you know, there are some how do you say it? Some goose eggs in there. Like remember Pick Up On when they had like the booby prize? There are some booby prizes in there. So just eight are correct and five are not. Pick out the correct eight, put it in the comments. The person who gives us the most correct answers will win the $500 gift certificate. Take a picture of this screen with your phone so you can take time to unscramble them and then put it in the comments. All right? All right. So let's get back to chatting. All right. So, yeah, so you were bringing the value. And I mean, I could tell you this for sure. In a world of constant sales marketing, sales marketing, sales marketing, fragrance is a welcome break on LinkedIn. At least from what
Yes.
I could, from my opinion, it's a welcome break from the regular. They talk about pattern interrupt on people's timelines, and that's why being able to own your voice. And I think what you do so well is that you are very comfortable in your own voice. You don't try to be somebody else. So even if
Yeah.
we come off of this live right now, this show, and I meet you at Starbucks, you're going to tell me the exact same things you post
Yes.
on. And it's very
Yes.
important. I think it's important for people to understand, in order for you to connect with your audience, you need to own your voice. In order for you not to be boring, you need to own your voice and just feel good about being able to speak and talk about the things passionately that you love. And that comes through so strongly in what you do. So definitely. So you say you got massive amounts. Well, obviously your network has grown massively.
Yes. Yes.
Your reach has reached as far as China. They are like 12 hours ahead of us, 12 hours difference.
Yeah.
Coming down to the end of last year, people are messaging you, people are coming to your store, people are getting fragrances. And of course, at the end of the day, this must have an impact on your bottom line for sure.
Yes. It does.
Absolutely. So we see growth. And one of the things I want to commend you on is that you have been so consistent. So let me ask you something. Is it a strategy that you post so early in the morning, or is it that you get that time to be quiet and you can write and undisturbed? So as people wake up, they're definitely going to see a post from you. How does that work for you?
Um, I think it's a little bit of both because when I
Mm-hmm.
was in university, I was somebody who would get up very early in the morning to study. I think
Mm-hmm.
that was my best time. And then, it's there are no interruptions, no telephone, um, nobody asking you to do chores, nobody asking you to help them with anything. You would just have that quiet time to yourself, and I would be able to study and routine. At the end of the day, I'm dead tired. Don't ask me to do anything. I just sometimes want my bed.
Yes.
Um, I also, when I was in the corporate world and I
Mm-hmm.
started to work maybe at Guardian Asset,
Mm-hmm.
I I would get into work early because of course when you're coming from Central, you have to beat traffic into Port of Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you rather take an hour to get to work, an hour 45 minutes in beat traffic. So like by 6:30 you're in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start your work, you start your day's work because you want to leave as well by 3 o'clock. So you beat that traffic to get home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just remember one of my bosses saying to me, when you get in so early and you send emails to people, your email is one of the first things they're seeing for the day.
Yeah.
So you can reach out to them and they can I give you an answer maybe by midday or the end of the day. And I just thought that was a really good strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm writing, and this is like, you pick up the newspaper and you see a lot of doom and gloom, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at the talk shows on the television. Sometimes it could be a little bit of doom and gloom, especially with COVID and everything else. Now you can just switch to Natika's post for the day and be inspired,
Yeah.
so it goes
Yeah.
well with morning coffee. Yeah, so I think,
Yes. Smell good, feel good. It all
yeah,
goes
and
well together.
that's basically the strategy. So like if you think that you're gonna be, have one of those really power pack days or something like that, you could start off with something light, and you can remember something that I say throughout your day that can, ease the tension a little bit. So yeah, that's
Yes.
the strategy. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I got you. Got you. Got you. Okay. So my next question is, okay. So I see we have one entry here to the competition. So Quasi is saying, based on my knowledge, she says Delina side effect Montal.
Yeah.
I'm no Nishan Dior
Morning,
Papa.
etc.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so Natika would be the judge. So I'm putting a star by all of the comments that are coming in um with the entry. So Veron is saying congratulations, Nikki. We have Valine who is here leaving lipsticks for us, and Deidre. And Valine is saying she loves your posts.
Thank
So
you.
she
Thank
really
you.
does love your posts, right? So I'm seeing Brandel. Brandel has entered the competition. So I am seeing here, um, Okay, Brandel. So you have to keep watching. We're gonna announce the winner at the end of the show. All right. Okay, cool. All right, Natika. So let's talk about content now for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the last couple of years, there's been a strong advocacy for, doing video content. And I mean, I like video content, but I am the first to admit that showing up on video for women is hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's harder. And because, it takes a production. We have to get our hair done, we have to get our makeup done, you know. Yes, I
Yeah.
know it is, I saw somebody post something today about pretty privilege, and people like to see good looking faces. And
Yeah.
we as women, we always want to show up at our best. So sometimes doing video a lot is hard. And I know there's this idea that other types of content have been left in the dust, but you have just been so strong with your text posts every day, every morning. I
Yeah.
mean, video is really not a part of your content mix right now. I don't know if it will be in the future, but what do you think it is about your post that just keeps people so engaged? Like what do you think it is?
Okay, so that is a little bit of a double-edged sword, question. Let me explain
Mm-hmm.
why. I think it depends on the social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you have to know your audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I have posted some video content on LinkedIn and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't score very well at all. I
Mm-hmm.
think people on LinkedIn are more inclined to read.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen, I posted the same thing that I post on LinkedIn on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to shorten it a bit for Instagram.
Right.
But the Instagram and Facebook audience, they are not about reading. And just before we came onto the show, somebody saw maybe some video or picture that I posted on Facebook of a particular perfume.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking me if I have it in stock and they're asking me if I do delivery. And that is just such a big red flag for me because I asked the person, did you ever smell this fragrance before? No, no, no. I've just read a review about it. And right away, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, no, no. Um, you know, that is not my process. And I rather lose a sale because if I do that to that customer, that customer is never going to be a customer for life. And
Yeah.
I'm seeing the marked differences on the social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost that people love to read on LinkedIn. In fact, I have to do a follow up with Jared this year because he does video very well on um on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to ask him, what is it that you need to do to engage people? Because I've kept my videos because Facebook, not Facebook, but I think Instagram requires and status on your phone requires that your content on video cannot be more than 1 minute long or
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to keep it under a minute because I don't think anybody has more than a minute to hear your message. But really and truly, I think people love to read on LinkedIn.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think people do love to read, and I think sometimes it's a matter of the algorithm too. It seems as though the algorithm is not favoring video very heavily these days. There was a time when that was, you know, put out video. I mean, and it's like, and video requires a lot of work. Video requires scripting. I mean, the things that you say have to be really tight, so that you
Yeah,
get your point across in the first 10 seconds, and then know exactly what is coming next. So when
yeah,
it comes to video, it does take a lot more strategy just to be able to um, speak and to be able to craft the message, repackage the message in a certain way. And honestly, I think for the person that I think writing suits you better because I think you love to wax poetic, and I think that is more in keeping with your style, and I
yeah,
think that's more in keeping with your brand.
yeah.
So, I mean, maybe you could do video, you can, but I think if you do, it's really going to have to be like a whole retraining of your style, to be very honest, to be very, very
And
honest.
and Sparrow did sing, "Why fix a good old walking thing?" So
Yeah. Exactly, right? So it's all right. So I want to jump into a little bit of let me understand what you've been doing for the last about 2 years,
Yes.
20, 22, 2 years. Um, and how you've been using LinkedIn. Let's talk a little bit about fragrance now, about smelling good. So, in the fragrance industry, um, as a fragrance retailer, right, we are in the midst of a pandemic, in where people are not really about getting too close, getting as close as they were getting before, right? So, how do you create that sweet experience? That sweet, like pleasurable experience, to keep your brand top of mind when people can't even, when people are a little bit wary about coming too close to smell. Like, are people using fragrances as much? How do you keep your brand top of mind? How do you get them to be like, yes, I definitely want to be able to purchase a fragrance?
Right. So I think the world was really surprised when the big perfume houses released figures like at the end of 2020 to show that
Hmm.
fragrance sales across the globe was actually up. Right.
Oh.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, it was. And I would tell you, Jamila, even though I had customers say to me, "Listen, I leave my
Hmm.
bedroom and my office is now in my living room, but I'm wearing my fragrance because
Yeah.
I need to feel happy, and I need
Yeah.
something that makes me happy, and I want to, because I'm already stressed by the fact that I can't enjoy a normal way of living anymore, right? And
Hmm.
I'm confined to maybe just spaces in my house. You remember part of our lockdown, we couldn't even buy fast food. So you
Yeah.
know yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of things that we were accustomed to, a lot of things that we were treating ourselves to, we can no longer do.
Hmm.
And for some people, they had that extra money saved, and a lot of
Right.
them decided that they wanted to do something for themselves and something nice for themselves. Because, of course, we were seeing tragically that a lot of people were just dying, young people, older people, people would go to the hospital. And this is not only in Trinidad, this is globally. I've read so many stories, and not return home. And I think a lot of people said to themselves, you know what, I'm going to start living my best life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pandemic has taught me I'm going to start living my best life.
Yeah.
And I think the moment was like, opportune there for me,
Yeah.
because I started to talk about fragrance, and I started to talk about what fragrance can do, how to wear your fragrance, where to wear things. And people just gravitated towards it.
Yeah.
And I think recently in one of my posts, sometime last week, I was talking about fragrance influencers, and I showed statistics,
Mm-hmm.
global statistics again, that showed that between at the beginning of that pandemic, from January 2020 to June 2020,
Mm-hmm.
the number of viewerships on the like the influencers grew like by 50% over 2019, because
Mm-hmm.
people were at home. I mean, there was only so much you could do in terms of work, and
Right.
especially at the beginning of the pandemic when things were not really in place. I mean, can you imagine in 2018 or 2017, you're telling your boss you want to work from home?
Yeah, yeah. Most people are like, what?
What you want to work from home. So
Yeah.
yeah, so there was nothing really in place, especially here at home.
Yeah.
For a lot of companies, there was no real tech things for a lot of us to work from home. So
Yeah.
initially you were at home and you didn't have much to do, so people started looking at a lot of videos and cooking, and
Yeah.
just making all kinds of exotic foods. People who love fragrances started looking at a lot more videos, started doing things that they never had time to do before.
Yeah.
You made a great investment in some books, so a lot more people started to read.
Read.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, just I mean, when you think about it, where are you going? Where can you go? There
Yeah.
was a point, there was absolute lockdown. So there's always positive, even in very negative situations.
Yeah.
And you just have to just always look at the glass being half full and not half empty.
Yeah. True.
and
That's
and
true.
and that yeah.
People have an opportunity to dive into the things that they like. So, okay, so we have some more entries here. So Brenda, so take a look, Natika, take a browse to see. You will be able to pick the winners at the end. Because I'm seeing people putting selections, but I don't think anybody has gotten all correct so far, right?
No.
I don't think anybody has gotten all correct so far. So Brenda, we see you. We acknowledge your entry, right? And then we have Aaron. Aaron, I'm seeing you here. I don't think Aaron has all correct either. You
Mm-mm.
know, so this is a challenging one. This is a challenging one, y'all. This is a big, big prize. $500 gift certificate to Signature Collection. You will experience the signature way, the signature experience. As a matter of fact, okay, and we have another entry, Crystal Kwaku, that's her name? In Tinto Parfums Privé. She puts all of these items here. So, Krista, we acknowledge your entry. And Brenda, thank you for the lipstick that you just shared with us. All right. So, oh, wait. Oh, we have another entry. Oh, we have so many entries coming through. Okay. So, Vanessa is here now, right? Oh, by the way, this competition is not open to employees of Signature Collection. So if you're an employee, or you're very, so I have to say that because I'm sensing some vibes from Vanessa out there. I'm sensing some vibes. I just have to say. Okay, so Jean-Marc, they redeemed Carrington is saying good night. Good night, Jean-Marc. Thank you for being on. We appreciate your presence. Right? All right, Natika. So we just talked about people having a lot more time. And
Yeah.
earlier you mentioned something, being so in love with the experience at Macy's, right? So I mean, I was reading something today where they were talking about some of the issues that's facing the global fragrance industry. And they said that gifting perfumes is kind of viewed as a little bit lazy because people really, what they have done is that they just say, okay, I want a fragrance, so they just buy it and give it, right? So I want to know, and I know this is a part of the thing that you do. So I want to know, how are you reimagining that whole experience of fragrance? Tell me, like, walk me through what it feels like what's the signature experience, and what does it feel like to meet the gifting queen? What does it feel, Your Highness? What does it feel like to meet you? Tell
You know,
somebody who's never been there, like, what they can look forward to.
yeah, and Jamila, thank you for this question because a lot of times people think that Point Lisas is really too far to drive, especially people who
I'm
are
for the
from
space.
Port of Spain.
I
And
know.
we always say, we South people always say, do you all think that the highway is shorter from South to Port of Spain than it is from Port of Spain to South? But
Yeah.
there's a reason why I want people to come to the shop because
Right.
it is impossible for me to bring the shop to you.
Yeah.
And I have, well, I mean, I've been to Harrods, and I know that the Harrods story is, when the Queen used to shop at Harrods, they would actually close the doors for her to shop. I mean, after all, it's the Queen of England.
Yeah.
And I have taken that because wherever I traveled or whatever I've experienced, I've tried to bring a bit of that to the store in a
Yeah.
local setting. So I call it my Harrods shopping experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically means a client will make an appointment with me,
Mm-hmm.
and that appointment time is reserved for you. And
Mm-hmm.
when you come to the shop, we lock the doors. It's you have my undivided attention, and you have the entire store at your disposal.
Oh, that
And
sounds nice.
it is an amazing experience because you get to shop in privacy. And I call it a shopping experience, but you know what? There is actually no request from me, no pressure from me that after you've been through this experience that you need to buy something,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really about enlightening the customer
Mm-hmm.
about various things about fragrances.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of do's and don'ts in the industry that a lot of people may not be familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
um, and then it's also giving the customer the opportunity to test fragrances.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really big on that because there's a saying, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Yeah.
What I say, the proof of the perfume is in the wearing. And I also strongly believe that you should date before you marry because divorce is expensive.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yes. So I have, it's taken me time, Jamila. This is not
Mhm.
something that happened overnight. This
Mhm.
has been trial and error at the store. And there
Mhm.
are things that I would observe that I would have done in the past, and I would question it, and I would say no. And I'm my biggest, critic.
Yeah.
And I'm very honest with myself. And if I don't like something, and I don't like how something looks, and I don't like how it sounds, I I would be the first to admit, because they say admittance is the first step. So I'd be the first to admit, I did that incorrectly, or I used to do that, but this is now the new change. So customers come and we just spend this really awesome time together. They shop, they're in privacy, so they can ask any question that they want. They can tell me what their fears are, what they like, what they don't like. We go through an entire process. And I think everybody who comes to the shop will tell you that they do leave with a little goodie bag, because there's always a decant or two of fragrances that I give to them, and my love story company, and I need to acknowledge them, Parfums de Molly and Inicio Parfums Privé out
Yeah.
of France, and my New York City team of Brandon and Kevin, who I love, to the moon and back.
Yes.
They have been awesome in supporting us here
Yeah.
at Signature Collection, with lots and lots of testers and samples, and just giving people a really really good experience before they commit to a bottle, if they ever commit to a bottle.
Yeah.
Because variety is the spice of life. So
Yes.
why
Oh, but
buy
that.
one fragrance?
Oh, I mean, when you deal with the gifting queen, you get royal treatment, and I have to give you a big shout out and a thank you for this royal treatment. See, this is the kind of treatment that gets people to spend all of their money in your store, right? And I really want to. Oh, this smells so good. I really want to say, and I want to acknowledge too, that I love the way that you have taken customer experience as your personal mission to
Yes.
be able to deliver. And I think more brands, because last week when we had Catherine Nurse on, I asked her how does she cope, or how does she manage to really push the whole idea of great customer experience, because her brand is positioned as luxury, and fragrance is also kind of considered a luxury item. How do you ensure that you have an amazing customer experience inside of a larger culture that really doesn't care about customer experience, or where people always complain, and it is like this, it's doing things like this and getting things to me before the show, and having closing your doors and giving people their undivided attention. So if you're looking on at this episode right now and you're wondering how do you take customer experience to another level, it just requires you to pay attention and to
Yes.
do the small things that nobody would think about. That's all it requires you to do. So I
Yes.
have to give you a big shout out for that. I haven't looked in that bag yet, but it smells really good. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty good. So I have to give you that shout out. So I absolutely love that. And I loved how you've undertaken customer experience as a key element of your brand and standing out. And I think, and you know what? I had another question here, but I think I just answered it for you. What I wanted to ask you is, like, in an industry of that's plagued by knockoffs, everybody wants to have a knockoff or an imitation, and also the people who do sell authentic fragrances, you know, um, it's competitive out there. And I want to ask you, how do you keep your people engaged? How do you keep people loyal to you? And do you have any stories of people who you've managed to convert from, being content with knockoffs to really aspiring to say, I need to put some money down to purchase this perfume from Signature Collection and visit the gifting queen. Do you have any stories like that?
You know something, Jamila? I think I could tell you that I have the store. We have evolved with our customers, right?
Right.
So we also listen very, very closely to what our customers say to us and what
Hmm.
they ask for.
Hmm.
And I mean, I have a personal relationship with all my clients. People have
Hmm.
my telephone number. They call me in advance. They tell me what they want. I know what they like. I've had over the holiday season wives calling me and saying, I know my husband shops by you all the time. One wife said to me, the way he talks about your store, I swear he has shares in your store. But those are my loyal clients, and
Yeah.
people come here sometimes to de-stress. This is a
Hmm.
little sanctuary for people to come and feel happy. They
Hmm.
come, I spritz them with something. They sit, we chat, we may have a cup of tea together, or
Hmm.
and people just spend sometimes their lunchtime with me.
Yeah.
And I have listened to my clients, and a lot of my clients, because they love fragrances, they actually look at a lot of the content reviewers out there,
Hmm.
and people want to try new things. People
Yeah.
are yearning to try new things, new fragrances. And what Signature Collection has done is that we are bringing all the very, very exclusive, uh, you know, uh, expensive fragrances to the customer, but we are bringing it in a decanted form, which
Right.
is a smaller vial where you can literally date a fragrance, and then you can say, okay, was this reviewer, correct in what he was saying, or is he off? Remember, fragrance also has to mesh with your body chemistry. So
Yeah.
what may smell fabulous on one person may not necessarily smell the same way on you.
Yeah.
So you really have to wear the fragrance, and wear it in a few settings to make that determination.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is what is going to set Signature up Collection apart from everyone else, because a lot of people say to me when they come here, yeah, I mean, I've had customers over the weekend tell me that they bought 5 6 bottles of very, very expensive perfumes, and they blind bought it, and then when they wear it they don't like it.
Yeah.
And
This
that
is why I love the concept of dating a fragrance. I've never thought
yeah,
about that, but I mean, I
yeah.
love that. You should really should make that a signature. Date before you marry. Date
Date
your
before you
fragrance.
marry, because
Yeah,
divorce is
you want
expensive.
to go on some blind dates, you can enjoy, and you can say, I don't really like, you can enjoy. I love that. I love the concept of dating the fragrance. And I think more people. So guys, take advantage of this opportunity. In Senior Tika, we have been, our time is like pretty much up at this stage, but I have so many more questions to ask you. So I'll ask you a couple more, and then we
Sure.
could take and then we could ensure we look at all the people who have been entering the competitions, right? So we have a few more people here. Liz Levlut, who is entering the competition. So let me put a star here by Liz. And Brenda is saying it's always a wonderful experience at Signature Collection. The fragrances are awesome. Yes, they are. I can smell them right now. And she said the cans are amazing and there's so much variety. It's fabulous. Yes, yes. So yes. All right. So let me just ask you a couple more questions, just for my own edification and just for fun. Um, are you a purist when it comes to stocking your store? Does it matter if the fragrance is like a celebrity fragrance, or do you prefer to deal with like perfume houses? Because the fragrance industry is one of those industries that's kind of closed. You know what I mean? People really have to trust you. It's not like you can launch a. Some people can launch a line of lip colors or makeup, and they will have their community that they built and they will buy, and then they will work their way out. But fragrance is different. You really have to have a nose for this thing. People who have. By the way, you shouldn't show your nose. By the way, I'm just telling you. One time, my mother told me I shouldn't show my mouth because I talk so much, right? And you should probably ensure your nose.
I am going to call my friend Marlon de Leon right after the show, and I'm going to ask him if that's possible. He's my friend. He's also a perfume connoisseur. We belong to a little group, and and he's one of those amazing financial advisors at
Yes,
Sagicor. Awesome
yes.
person.
Marlon is his name.
Marlon de Leon, yes.
Think about it, Marlon. We have people who need to ensure mouths and nose around these parts. But would you say you're a purist? Do you prefer the houses, or does it matter if a celebrity brought it up fragrance? What do you feel about that?
Well, the celebrity fragrances are not made by the celebrity themselves. It's
Yes.
always a perfumer, right?
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
the perfume industry is really, I think, in Trinidad there was once talk about interlocking directorships. I think the perfume industry does not have any regard for that, because like you know, there are so many people, like Tom Ford is now owned by by Estee Lauder. There's so many, like there is a brand called Zerjoff that I really love, and their sister company is Chemi, and Parfums de Marly and Initio Parfums Privé are sister companies. So
Yeah.
there's so many interlocking relationships in the perfume world.
Yeah.
I really appreciate a very good fragrance, a
Yeah.
well-made fragrance. I do, and I I just appreciate things that are well made, and and there are some celebrity fragrances like Rihanna's Rep Fleur. Oh my word, sexy,
Yeah.
sexy, sexy. To
Yes,
the
I
moon
agree
and
with
back.
you. It's fantastic. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it has a coconut undertone in it, and there's just, I mean, and I love Rihanna. I love Rihanna. She is one of the women I really admire, and
Yeah.
Rihanna, if you're looking, or if somebody is going to send you this, I love you to the moon and back, and I really, really love everything that you have done
Mm-hmm.
in the beauty world.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I just I would choose fragrances that I think would work well with the clientele that we have. And something, Jamila, we cater
Mm-hmm.
for every budget. I
Yes.
always say that perfume fragrance is the one luxury that everybody could afford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which is great because I was just about to ask you that too, you know. You know, sometimes people just they may not necessarily be like rich, but you just want to smell rich, you just want to feel like you want to
Yes.
live in our world temporarily, and sometimes you could
Yeah,
just
you want to smell like $1 million. I
of
mean,
course you just want to
and
smell like a
you
smell
could
and
come to
feel like a
signature.
million bucks. You just
Yeah, and you could come to signature, and we can help you to achieve that.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure if I got cut off. Are we back?
I think so. Are you
Uh,
hearing me? I can hear you.
all right. Are we back? I think I went a slight dip in connectivity there. Yes. All right. So, okay. So we are back. There's a small dip in connectivity and how flow goes
Okay. Yes,
sometimes.
how technology is.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. All right. So let's bring this in for a close right around now. Let's start winding down. So we did have quite a few entries here, um, Natika. So I want you to take a look at the ones. I'm going to put them up on the screen again, and you can identify which person got the most correct, right? Now, of course, you would know if anybody who's working at Signature Collection or whether behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, and
Yes.
they don't qualify, you will know, right? So first up, we have Kwesi Charles. This is Kwesi's entry, right? So you can identify how many did Kwesi
Okay.
get correct.
So Jamila, off the bat, I don't think anybody got all correct. So
Yes,
what we can do,
yes.
for everybody who participated, I can decant a couple of fragrances for them and gift it to
Wow.
them.
Oh
Yes.
wow, you guys are so lucky. Look at all of you who entered. Well, all seven of you will receive, and you will have a chance to date a fragrance
Yes.
before you marry. Oh my God. So Quasi, Brandel, Brenda. So Quasi Charles, right? Brandel Warren. If you're still on, I hope you still are. Brenda Warner, Aaron Jagan, Crystal Kwaku, Vanessa, Dan Raj, and Liz DeVlute, you will all have an opportunity to date a fragrance before you marry it from Signature Collection. Congratulations to all the people who entered. Um, we close all the entries right now. So all of the people, so in order, so Natika, how do they get this decanted fragrance? Do you want them to visit the store? How do they collect?
Okay, well, they have the choice what they want to do, right?
Yes.
We can either make arrangements to deliver to them.
Right.
um, if they've never been to the store and they would like to come to the store, that's also fine with me. And
Yes.
they can choose any fragrance in the store that they would like, and
Right.
I would
So I'm
do a couple for them.
so I'm encouraging you now, if you can visit the store, get the full signature experience,
Yes,
enjoy it. I mean, get the, I know that you call it the Harrods experience, but I'm calling it the signature experience. Get the gift, rock with the Her Highness the gifting queen. Enjoy the experience and take it all in. I mean, you just want something, go down there and enjoy yourself. Okay,
yes.
so that is really a great opportunity. All right. So, Anatika, I think this was so fantastic, and I really want to encourage people to really visit the signature collection. By the way, you don't have your website up yet. Do you plan to throw up one anytime soon where we can visit and look and book appointments to you? I know you are easing your way into the digital world, and you have been doing so well. You
Yes.
know, um,
Definitely, I am not going to discount anything.
right,
I'm not. I'm absolutely not going to. I've never been one to do that. Never say never.
right,
Um, I think though timing is everything. And Jamila, honestly, one of the things that I think I have learned to do is to now just give it all to God. You know,
yeah,
I don't worry. I don't sweat the small stuff anymore. I just say my prayers, and I think the pandemic made me probably have a closer relationship with God,
yeah,
and that is something I think I'm also seeing manifesting in my business,
yeah.
and that I've had this open relationship with Him. I'm talking to Him. I'm saying what I would like, and
Mm,
I'm saying, God, I'm willing and I'm ready to do the work, and
mm.
you
And the
just
work
give
is
me,
coming.
yeah, just give me the guidance, and let me know what I have to do, and it will unfold.
Yes.
And that's probably why I've ended up here tonight, on
Yes, well, you know
on
what?
your fantastic program.
Well, you know what they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Nice.
So that is exactly. So we have some thank yous coming in. Brenda saying thank you. Quasi saying excellent. Brandel saying thank you. And Merle saying good for you. Thanks, Merle. Appreciate it. So, guys, if you would like to connect with Natika, of course, she is here on LinkedIn. She is also on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, check the page Signature Collection on Facebook. Here it is,
Yeah.
right?
Signature
And
collection TT. It's one word.
signature signature
It's
collection TT. So we can fix that. There's no
yeah.
problem. It's no
It's
problem. We can do that
it's
really
it's
just
all one word.
fast. So signature collection TT. Just search for this on Facebook, and you can connect with her
And
on
Instagram.
LinkedIn or and also on Instagram. I do. Yeah, I have that here as well on Instagram. Signature collection TT here as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so signature collection TT. Follow her on Instagram. But you will get the richest experience with Natika on LinkedIn. So connect with her on LinkedIn so you can see all her amazing perfume and fragrance education. It's not to be missed. You guys will definitely enjoy that. So, guys, you see how amazing Natika is? She's a great example of someone who has taken her you know what, and what I started doing now is, what my focus is turning boring beauty businesses into engaging beauty brands. And I have definitely seen your transition from boring beauty business to engaging brand, and I think everybody have been witness to that. And it
Yes.
really is an ownership of your voice. So if you feel that you are kind of boring, because sometimes people come to me and they said, my page is so dead, no one talks to me, and it really, I mean, it's because you guys are kind of boring. It's kind of harsh, but it's true. You're kind of boring. So, if you feel that this is who you are, this is where your beauty brand is, whether you're in the area of fragrance, whether in the area of makeup, You sell hair, you do personal care items like things for your skin and that kind of thing, and you would like to reach out to get your beauty brand moved from boring to engaging. And so people could stop the scroll and actually read or listen and look at what you're saying. Get in touch, right? You could visit my website and book a discovery call with me, or you could do my quiz and just see how you are. You can just rate yourself like that, right? So I really did enjoy that. And I think I did enjoy this lovely interview. I want to wish you all the best. Good luck. Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm sure you have something amazing planned. And I mean, guys, you're not inside. What else are you doing? Get a fragrance and smell good with your boo as you're inside for Valentine's Day. It might be the start of other things to come. Who knows, right? So, um, thanks again for being here. Natika, any final words before we wrap up?
I just want to say thank you to everyone, to all my fans, everyone who supports me. It really is really really nice to hear that you all acknowledge that you all love to read what I write. It gives me inspiration, that I need to get up every morning, because somebody's gonna not have enjoy their morning coffee if I don't put something out there.
Yes.
And I also just want to let everyone know that we are open to evolving with the times,
Yes.
and definitely we want everyone to know that anyone can come to Signature Collection and really feel like $1 million. It's all about the customer. We are just very very customer centric, and
Yes.
and we hate when customers have bad experiences. We
Yeah.
always want it to be memorable, just
Yes.
like your fragrance should be. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
thank you,
love that.
everyone. Yes,
Yes. So, Your
you feel as
Highness,
memorable as your fragrance.
of course. So, Your Highness, the gifting queen, it was lovely this evening. And to everyone watching, thank you so much for watching another episode of The Lipstick Effect. Join us next week where we'll have another amazing interview with another engaging beauty brand, where you can ask all your questions. And who knows, you might be able to win something too. So, have a great night and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.